The day Evelyn and I found out we were pregnant was the happiest moment of our lives. After years of trying countless doctors and more disappointment than anyone should bear, we finally had our miracle. We planned to announce it at my promotion party, sharing our joy with everyone we loved. But my sister-in-law Amanda always resented Evelyn, and I noticed her strange behavior when we told the family our news. Something sinister was brewing behind her congratulatory smile. If you are watching this right now, drop a comment letting me know where you are from and hit subscribe to hear how her cruel plan landed her in jail and cost her a marriage. Evelyn and I met during our sophomore year at University of Michigan. I was struggling through an economics lecture when this beautiful woman with striking green eyes sat next to me and offered to share her notes. There was something magnetic about her confidence and kindness. Within weeks, I knew she was special. We dated through college, and I proposed the night of our graduation. The wedding was small but perfect, just like our relationship. The first 2 years of marriage were everything I had hoped for. We bought a small house in the suburbs of Detroit, adopted a golden retriever named Cooper, and started talking about having children. Evelyn had always wanted to be a mother, and seeing her with our nieces and nephews only confirmed she would be an amazing one. We decided to start trying on our 3rd anniversary. That was when our journey took an unexpected turn. Month after month passed with no positive pregnancy tests. After a year, we consulted a fertility specialist who diagnosed Evelyn with polycystic ovarian syndrome. What followed were 3 grueling years of treatments, hormones, and 4 failed rounds of IVF. Each negative test chipped away at our hope, but somehow strengthened our bond. Throughout this difficult time, my relationship with my brother Jason remained strong. He was my rock, always checking in and offering support without prying. His wife, Amanda, however, was a different story. From the moment she joined our family 5 years ago, she seemed to harbor a strange resentment toward Evelyn. Amanda would make subtle digs about our childless status at family gatherings. "Still no babies. Maybe it is not meant to be," she would say with a smile that never reached her eyes. She would brag about how easily she could get pregnant if they decided to have children, knowing full well our struggles. When Evelyn got promoted at her architecture firm, Amanda diminished her achievement by suggesting she only got it because they needed more women in management. I tried to maintain peace for my brother's sake, but these incidents made family gatherings increasingly tense. Jason would apologize for his wife's behavior but seemed powerless to stop it. We started seeing them less frequently. My career at the financial consulting firm had been going well, and I had recently been promoted to senior manager. The company was throwing a celebration party at Blue Water Grill, one of the nicest restaurants in the city. It felt like the perfect opportunity to share some good news of our own. Just a week before the party, Evelyn woke me up at 5:30 inches the morning, tears streaming down her face as she held a pregnancy test. For a heart-stopping moment, I thought it was another disappointment. Then I saw it. 2 clear lines. After 3 years of heartbreak, our miracle had happened naturally just when we had started to accept that parenthood might not be in our future. "We are having a baby," she whispered, her voice breaking with emotion. The joy we felt was indescribable. We spent the morning crying, laughing, calling our doctor, and making plans. We decided to keep the news between us until the promotion party, though we did tell our immediate families in person beforehand. When we told my parents, my mother cried and my father hugged Evelyn longer than I had ever seen him embrace anyone. Jason was genuinely thrilled for us. Amanda, however, had an odd reaction. She smiled and congratulated us, but something flashed in her eyes. Displeasure, anger. It was gone so quickly I thought I had imagined it. In the days leading up to the party, Amanda suddenly became overly interested in our lives. She called Evelyn multiple times to ask about the pregnancy and offered to help plan a baby shower, something completely out of character. I overheard her asking detailed questions about Evelyn's medical history and treatment plan. When Evelyn mentioned she was documenting everything in a private journal on her laptop, I noticed Amanda's unusual interest. The day before the party, Evelyn called me at work in a panic. She had come home early and found Amanda in our home office using her laptop. Amanda claimed she was just borrowing it to check her email because her phone was dead, but Evelyn's pregnancy journal was open on the screen. I rushed home to find Evelyn upset and Amanda defensive. "I was just curious about what you were going through," Amanda insisted. I did not mean to invade your privacy. Though unsettled, we decided to give her the benefit of the doubt. The party was tomorrow, and we did not want family drama to overshadow our special announcement. Looking back, I wish we had trusted our instincts more. The morning of the party arrived with a mixture of excitement and unease. Evelyn wore a loose, fitting burgundy dress that elegantly concealed her barely visible baby bump. She looked radiant despite her concerns about Amanda's strange behavior. I reassured her that tonight was about us, our future, and the new life we had created against all odds. We arrived at Blue Water Grill an hour early to make sure everything was perfect. The private room overlooking the river was decorated with tasteful blue and silver accents, my company colors. A congratulatory banner hung on the far wall and champagne flutes were arranged for the toast. I had secretly arranged for sparkling cider for Evelyn. To our surprise, Amanda and Jason were already there. Amanda claimed she wanted to help with last-minute preparations, but she seemed more interested in examining the guest list and seating arrangement. She had changed the place cards, putting herself and Jason at our table, instead of with my parents as originally planned. "I want to be right there when you make your big announcement," she said with a smile that did not quite reach her eyes. As guests began to arrive, I noticed Amanda flitting from person to person, whispering something that made them glance curiously at Evelyn. My colleague Sam approached me with a concerned expression. "Your sister-in-law is quite interested in your personal life," he commented. She was asking some odd questions about whether Evelyn had been sick at work or showing any signs of pregnancy before your announcement. My stomach tightened. How did Amanda know we were planning to announce the pregnancy tonight? We had not told anyone about our plans for the evening. Throughout dinner, I kept a close eye on Amanda. She was drinking heavily, something she rarely did, and her laugh became increasingly loud. When she went to the restroom, her husband Michael approached us with an apologetic expression. "I am sorry about Amanda," he said quietly. "She has been acting strange ever since you told us about the baby. I found her going through old photos of Evelyn last night, comparing her appearance over the last few months. I do not know what she is up to, but I wanted you to know I am not part of it." His warning only heightened my concern. When dinner concluded, my boss made a toast to my promotion and then handed me the microphone. With Evelyn by my side, I thanked everyone for their support and then shared our joyous news. "And while this promotion is an honor, Evelyn and I have even bigger news to share," I said, taking her hand. "After a long journey, we are thrilled to announce that we are expecting a baby." The room erupted in applause and congratulations. Friends rushed forward to hug Evelyn, and colleagues patted me on the back. In the midst of the celebration, I spotted Amanda standing apart, her expression tense, as she typed frantically on her phone. When the excitement settled, Amanda approached the microphone, glass in hand. "I would like to make a toast to the expectant parents," she announced. Her words were slightly slurred. "To my brother-in-law and his wife, may your journey to parenthood be as straightforward as you claim it is." An uncomfortable silence fell over the room. Jason quickly took the microphone from her hand and redirected attention to the cake cutting. During the commotion, Evelyn pulled me aside, her face pale. "Someone has been through my purse," she whispered. "My phone was moved and some of the pregnancy paperwork I brought to show your parents is missing." Before I could respond, Evelyn's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Fake pregnancy for attention. How desperate are you?" Then another, "Everyone knows you are lying about the baby." And another, "Medical records do not lie. The truth will come out tonight." Evelyn's hands trembled as she showed me the messages. I immediately confronted Amanda, who was now sitting alone at a corner table watching Evelyn with an odd smirk. "Did you take something from Evelyn's purse?" I demanded. "I do not know what you are talking about," she replied, but her smug expression told me everything. I returned to Evelyn to find her surrounded by concerned friends. Somehow, rumors had begun circulating that our pregnancy announcement was a desperate bid for attention after our fertility struggles. Several guests had received anonymous texts questioning the legitimacy of our news. Michael appeared at my side, his expression grim. "I found these in Amanda's purse," he said, handing me several pages that appeared to be printed from Evelyn's pregnancy journal, but with dates and details altered. "She has been obsessing over exposing what she calls your lie." She convinced herself that Evelyn is faking the pregnancy to steal attention from your promotion. As the evening progressed, the tension became unbearable. Evelyn, already exhausted from early pregnancy, and the emotional strain became visibly distressed. Several times I found her wiping away tears in quiet corners of the room. Amanda, meanwhile, became more emboldened, openly questioning guests about whether they truly believed our announcement. When I confronted her again, she laughed. "You know what I think?" she said, her voice carrying across the now quieter room. "I think after years of failing to conceive, your wife could not bear to disappoint you anymore. It is amazing what people can fake with a little research." As guests began to whisper and stare, I discovered that Amanda had created an elaborate theory. She had taken medical information from Evelyn's journal, altered dates and test results, and was presenting it as evidence that Evelyn was lying about the pregnancy. She had even created a fake email trail suggesting Evelyn had consulted a therapist about how to fake pregnancy symptoms. The party was quickly devolving into a nightmare, and Evelyn was paying the emotional price. Her face had lost all color, and she kept one protective hand over her stomach as if shielding our unborn child from the malice in the room. The climax of this nightmare came during the cake-cutting ceremony. As my boss handed me the knife and everyone gathered around, Amanda suddenly stepped forward, glass raised high. "Wait. Before we celebrate any further, I have something everyone needs to see," she announced loudly. The room fell silent as she pulled out her phone and a stack of papers. "I have proof that this pregnancy announcement is nothing but a desperate lie." A collective gasp went through the crowd. Evelyn froze beside me, her hand gripping mine so tightly her knuckles turned white. "These are Evelyn's medical records." Amanda continued, waving the papers she had stolen from Evelyn's laptop. "But I bet you will not find any record of a viable pregnancy. What you will find is a history of failed treatments and a desperate woman who could not bear another disappointment." I stood in shock as Amanda began distributing altered copies of Evelyn's private medical information to our friends, family, and my colleagues. The documents had clearly been manipulated, with dates changed and certain sections highlighted or deleted entirely to support Amanda's false narrative. Evelyn let out a small wounded sound beside me. Her breathing became rapid and shallow as panic overtook her. She swayed slightly, and I put my arm around her waist to steady her. "How dare you?" I finally managed to say, my voice shaking with rage. "Those are private medical records you stole and altered. You are publicly humiliating my wife with lies at what should be one of the happiest moments of our lives." Several guests began to murmur in confusion and discomfort. Most knew us well enough to question Amanda's bizarre accusations, but the damage was already being done. Evelyn was having a full-blown panic attack, tears streaming down her face as she struggled to breathe. My friend Tom, a doctor, rushed to Evelyn's side and helped her to a chair while I confronted Amanda. "This ends now," I said, advancing toward her. "You stole private information from our home, accessed my wife's personal medical records without permission, and distributed confidential information to others. Do you have any idea how many laws you have broken?" Amanda's face flushed with alcohol and righteous indignation. "I am just exposing the truth. She has been lying to everyone, including you. She gets everything she wants. Always the perfect Evelyn, while the rest of us just have to sit back and applaud her charmed life." It was then that Michael stepped forward, physically putting himself between Amanda and us. "Stop this right now," he said firmly. "This is insane, Amanda. You have gone too far. You are taking their side," Amanda shrieked. "After everything I told you, they have not done anything wrong," Michael replied. "This obsession with Evelyn has gone on long enough. You broke into their house, stole their private information, and now you are publicly humiliating them with fabricated evidence. I cannot stand by this." As Amanda's accusations grew more hysterical, my brother Jason joined Michael. "Amanda, that is enough. We are leaving now." But Amanda was too far gone in her vendetta. "I have recordings too," she announced to the stunned room. "I installed an app on her phone when I borrowed it last week. I heard her talking to her doctor about how to manage the deception." That admission caused several gasps. Not only had she stolen documents, but she had also illegally recorded private conversations and hacked into Evelyn's phone. Even guests who might have harbored doubts now looked horrified at Amanda's behavior. As the reality of her actions dawned on the room, Amanda seemed to realize her plan was backfiring spectacularly. Instead of exposing Evelyn, she had exposed her own criminal behavior in front of dozens of witnesses. "You do not understand," she said desperately. "She is lying. I can prove it. She needs to take a pregnancy test right now in front of everyone." With that, she lunged toward Evelyn, grabbing her arm and attempting to pull her from the chair. "Come on, let us settle this right now." I moved to intervene, but Michael was faster. He pulled Amanda away from Evelyn, his face a mask of shock and disgust. "That is assault," he said quietly. "You just assaulted a pregnant woman in front of 50 people. The restaurant manager, who had been hovering anxiously nearby, stepped forward. "I need to ask you to leave immediately, or I will call security." "Call them," I said firmly. "And the police. I want to press charges." Amanda's face contorted with rage as she realized she had lost control of the situation. In a final desperate act, she grabbed the knife meant for the cake and pointed it toward Evelyn. "Just admit you are lying," she screamed. Several men immediately moved to restrain her, including Michael and Jason. In the struggle, Amanda swung wildly, and the knife connected with the manager's arm, drawing blood. The room erupted in chaos. Someone called 911, reporting both an assault and a medical emergency as Evelyn was still struggling to breathe through her panic attack. Within minutes, security guards had restrained Amanda, and shortly after, police officers arrived. As Amanda was handcuffed and read her rights, the reality of what had just happened seemed to finally break through her rage. Her face crumpled as she looked at Michael, who turned away, unable to meet her eyes. "I was just trying to expose the truth," she said weakly as the officers led her away. The party dissolved into shock and confusion. My boss quietly arranged for the remaining guests to leave while close friends and family stayed behind to support us. Paramedics checked Evelyn's vital signs and monitored her condition, concerned about the impact of severe stress on her pregnancy. As we sat in the now empty restaurant surrounded by the ruins of what should have been a joyous celebration, I held Evelyn's trembling hand and wondered how we would recover from this night. The weeks following the disastrous party were a blur of legal meetings, medical appointments, and emotional recovery. Amanda was initially charged with theft of private information, illegal recording of conversations, identity theft for accessing Evelyn's medical portal, assault, and aggravated assault with a weapon for injuring the restaurant manager. She spent 3 nights in jail before being released on bail with a restraining order preventing her from contacting us. Michael filed for divorce the day after the party. He came to our house to apologize personally, bringing the items Amanda had stolen and offering to testify about her behavior if needed. "I had no idea how far this had gone," he told us, his face haggard from lack of sleep. "I knew she was jealous of Evelyn, but I never imagined she would do something like this. I am so sorry I did not stop her sooner." My brother Jason was devastated. He had been completely blindsided by his wife's behavior and was torn between family loyalty and horror at what Amanda had done. After several difficult conversations, we assured him that we did not blame him for her actions. "You are going to be an uncle," I reminded him. "We want you in our baby's life." Gradually, he became a source of support rather than a reminder of that terrible night. What surprised us most was the outpouring of support we received. Friends and colleagues sent messages of encouragement and brought meals during those first difficult days. Even Amanda's parents called to apologize for their daughter's behavior and to assure us they were getting her the psychological help she clearly needed. The most difficult part was ensuring Evelyn's health and well-being after the trauma. Her doctor was concerned about the effects of extreme stress on the pregnancy and ordered additional monitoring. We attended counseling sessions to process the public humiliation and invasion of privacy we had experienced. Slowly, Evelyn began to heal. Her natural resilience reasserted itself, and she found strength in focusing on the baby growing inside her. We chose not to learn the gender, wanting to preserve one surprise in a pregnancy that had already seen too much drama. 3 months after the party incident, Amanda accepted a plea deal. In exchange for reduced charges, she pled guilty to identity theft, invasion of privacy, and simple assault. She was sentenced to 6 months in jail, 3 years of probation, mandatory counseling, and was ordered to pay restitution for the emotional and financial damage she had caused. Michael's divorce was finalized around the same time. He had discovered other disturbing behavior patterns during their marriage and was relieved to be free of the relationship. To everyone's surprise, he and my brother Jason remained good friends, and Michael became an unexpected ally to our family. The most powerful lesson we learned through this ordeal was the importance of boundaries with toxic people. For too long, we had tolerated Amanda's jealousy and passive-aggressive behavior out of respect for family connections. We had dismissed red flags and ignored our instincts. Never again would we allow someone's unhealthy fixations to endanger our peace and well-being. The experience also strengthened our marriage in ways we could never have anticipated. Facing such a direct attack together reminded us of what truly mattered. When Evelyn whispered to me one night, "We are going to be okay. Are not we?" I could answer with complete certainty, "We already are." 6 months to the day after the disastrous party, our daughter Lily was born healthy and perfect, despite the tumultuous beginning to her journey. Holding her in my arms for the first time, I was overwhelmed by how much love I felt and how insignificant Amanda's actions now seemed in comparison to this miracle. We later heard that Amanda was released after serving her full sentence. She moved to another state to live with a cousin, and according to Jason, was continuing with therapy. The divorce had been a wake-up call, forcing her to confront the destructive patterns that had ruled her life. While we could never forget what she had done, we chose not to waste energy on bitterness or revenge. Whenever I look at Evelyn cradling our daughter, I am reminded that happiness is the best response to those who wish you ill. We created boundaries where needed, but refused to let one person's issues define our story or damage our joy. Our journey to parenthood was longer and more dramatic than we ever could have imagined, but it led us exactly where we were meant to be. Family is not always defined by blood or legal ties, but by the people who stand by you through life's storms and celebrate your joys as if they were their own. Has someone ever tried to ruin a special moment in your life? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe to hear more real-life experiences. Thank you for listening to our journey, and remember that sometimes the things meant to break us become the foundation for our strongest relationships.